In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. My dear friends and fellows in Pakistan and abroad, Pakistan has become a kind of ungovernable state. Pakistan has become a trouble spot, one of the trouble spots in the world. Unfortunately, we people, the life here in Pakistan, the life of a commoner, the life of general public, even the life of the privileged class people, it has become really difficult. I have said privileged class, although they have plenty of facilities, they are living like royals here in our society, and I shall speak separately upon that issue. But as for today, our today's topic is concerned, it is about the religion, the way the religion is being practiced in Pakistan, the way the religion is being practiced in Pakistan. I think it has created lot of trouble for the state, for the country, and it is actually one of the major, either one of the biggest, or maybe the biggest problem in Pakistan. The way these sects, different sects of religion, are behaving and their conflict with each other, their conflict with each other, I think so. That is quite troublesome, that is quite problemsome, my dear friends and fellows. In certain, during the certain days of the year, there is a lot of huge amount of religious activity going on the roads, on the streets, and that creates it paralyzes the life. The life in the country becomes paralyzed, so it is absolutely hijacking the country. I think that is absolutely wrong, absolutely nonsense, because during those days I think the patient cannot go to the hospital, the doctor, the nurses, the paramedics, they can't attend their hospitals, and the trader cannot open their shops, and the laborer who earn on a daily basis to survive, to live by, to subsist, I think they do earn during the day and they do feed their families during the night, in the evening. So they people cannot go to the work, and the traveler cannot travel. I think that is lot of troublesome situation which must be managed. And I think the only way to manage is, I think, the restrict all the religious activity within the four walls. Within the four walls, the religious activity can only take place inside the four walls, and cannot be done in the open at all. And not only that, inside the four walls, rather without the loudspeaker as well. The loudspeaker is another big nuisance. The loudspeaker and the religious activity in the roads, that is something really which spoils the life, disturb the life, and it create a kind of sectarian conflict. I'm not talking about the one sect, rather I'm talking about all sort of religious activity, whether being carried out by one sect of the Muslims or the other sect of the Muslim. I think that is something absolutely troublesome. It must be stopped, and if it is restricted inside the four walls, and that too without the loudspeaker, and that too without any sort of flags and posters and banners and all sort of religious symbols, I think our country can become a peaceful one. Our country will become really a peaceful and a developing country. I think as for there are plenty of problems here in our society, in our country. But believe me, this is the biggest one. As for the sectarianism is concerned, as for the sectarian conflicts are concerned, I think this is the biggest trouble ever in Pakistan. Pakistan has become a fraudistan, Pakistan has become a Masailistan. It was said by Maulana Maududi during the somewhere in the 70s that Pakistan has become a Masailistan. I mean, at that time it was a Masailistan, but as for if at all we talk about now, I think it is, it is much more than that. With the passage of time, the troubles of Pakistan are increasing. Unfortunately, the things are not getting better, but rather the things are getting worse and worse and worse. So we are moving toward the destruction, and we are moving toward a chaotic situation, maybe toward a civil war. I think it must be stopped forthwith, you know. It should not be allowed to carry on at all. Now the question arises, and some of the people will say that this activity is allowed even in the Western countries, where Muslims are in minority and majority of the residents, the genuine residents, the actual owners of that country are not even Muslim, but they are allowing this country. Yes, they are allowing this activity, but that activity is extremely restricted. They, whatever they are permitted, they don't go beyond that at all. The time they are told that you have to begin at this time and you have to end at this time, you have to walk and you have to do it, from this place to that place, and you cannot go anywhere else at all. I think they are these the rules they are told, the instructions they are given, they do have to follow, they do follow it, strictly, otherwise this will be banned. While that sort of discipline, a great discipline like that one, cannot be enforced here in Pakistan, unfortunately, because it has become the country of the mafias. There are different sort of mafias. Even these religious sects are the mafias. I think they shouldn't be. I'm talking about the all the sects, not in a particular sect, but I'm strictly in favor of all the religious activity within the four walls, and not beyond that at all, not beyond that at all, and that too without loudspeaker, that too without flags and posters and banners and things like this one. It should be across the board, not only on one sect, rather upon each and every sect of the country. Although these people will resist, but I think if at all we want to see the country develop, if at all we want to see the country prosper, I think that is essential, and without that, the country cannot develop at all. The country cannot prosper at all, my dear friends and fellows in Pakistan. Now, the people will say that this is undoable. Yes, indeed, I do agree here that this is undoable, but only although it is a far-fetched conclusion, far-fetched analysis, but I think that the Taliban of Afghanistan can do it, because at least they have defeated a superpower who came there with the rest of the NATO, the very powerful allies of the USA. They spent trillions of dollars over there, but they could not win the war against the Taliban of Afghanistan. But even more importantly, much more importantly, the China can do it. If at all the Pakistan is given to the Chinese, the Chinese can manage it. I think that they are so cruel. They believe in the discipline so much that they only they can, maintain that much of the discipline in the country, and no other force can actually do that. But if at all Pakistan have to develop, Pakistan cannot develop this without this at all. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely necessary. Thank you very much.